They say the Prophet had a dua for every storm, but no one tells you what he whispered in the dark, when the world felt heavy, when strength ran out, when even breathing felt like a test. These 5 words weren't rituals. They were lifelines, and if you listen closely, they might be the same lifelines you've been needing too. There were nights when even the Prophet felt the weight of humanity resting on his shoulders. Not weakness, but the kind of burden that only a heart connected to every soul could feel. And in those moments when the world was quiet and the sky felt close, he whispered, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum, Rahmatiki, Astagheeth. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't command. He surrendered. This dhikr is not a request for miracles. It is the whisper of a servant meeting the one who never sleeps, never slips, never loses sight of you for even a heartbeat. When you repeat this dhikr, especially in your weakest hours, something begins to shift inside you. The tension in your chest softens. The fear loosens its grip. You start to feel the truth of the words. You exist only because the ever-living is holding you, and you stand only because the all-sustaining is carrying you. People say recite it often, even 100 times, not because the number changes destiny, but because with each repetition you return a little more to the one who never left. This dhikr is not about strength. It is about remembering that you never had to be strong alone. There is something profoundly human about this dua. The Prophet, standing at the height of revelation, carrying responsibility heavier than mountains, would whisper, Allahumma, Rahmataka, Arju, Fala, Takilni, Nafsi, tarfata ayn. This wasn't a request for power or victory. It was the plea of a heart that understood the danger of being left alone with itself. This dua teaches that the true storm is not outside you, but inside you. Your fears, your thoughts, your confusions. And the Prophet showed us that the way to survive that storm is not to overpower it, but to ask God not to leave us to our own limited sight. Say this dua slowly, the way the Prophet did. Say it when your mind spirals, when your heart tightens, when clarity feels far. Every repetition is a soft surrender. I cannot guide myself. I cannot trust my own strength. I need your mercy more than oxygen. Scholars say, recite it a few times whenever uncertainty grows. And with each time, the fog inside you begins to lift because guidance is not achieved. Guidance is granted. Before stepping into challenges that would shake nations, the Prophet whispered a truth that every heart forgets. Allahumma la sahla illa ma ja'altahu sahlan. No matter how strong you are, no matter how prepared, ease does not come from planning. Ease comes from God. This dhikr is the Prophet's way of reminding his heart that effort is yours, but outcomes are his. When he faced negotiations, enemies, decisions, revelations, he didn't depend on his intelligence or strength. He depended on the one who opens paths in ways human logic cannot see. Say this dua when you stand before something that intimidates you, before exams, before conversations, before change, before anything that makes your chest tighten. Some people say it once, some say it many times. What matters is that each repetition breaks the illusion that life is in your control. And once that illusion breaks, the heart becomes light enough to walk through anything. The Prophet recited this dhikr every morning and every evening, wrapping his heart in protection. Allahumma inni bika min al-hammi wal-huzn. He knew sadness is part of the human journey. Worry is part of breathing, but drowning in them is not what God wants for you. This dua is not an escape. It is a shield, a gentle request that your heart not be crushed under the weight of its own emotions. Say it when your chest feels heavy, when your thoughts won't quiet down, when the past haunts you or the future scares you. Repeat it several times the way the Prophet taught. With every repetition, something begins to loosen. The storm inside becomes quieter. God doesn't promise a life without sadness. He promises a heart strong enough to survive it. And this dhikr is one of the ropes he extends to pull you back to safety. When danger approached, when fear spread, when the world felt threatening, the Prophet raised his voice with strength. Hasbiyallahu wa al-Wakeel. This is not a defeated cry. It is a declaration of authority, a reminder that no threat, no enemy, no fear can overpower the one who protects you. Say this dhikr when you feel surrounded by pressures, when doors close, when people misunderstand you, when life feels bigger than you. Some repeat it 7 times, some 70, some 100. Not because the number holds power, but because the heart needs repetition to believe what the mind already knows. God is enough. And when you say it with conviction, something shifts inside you. Courage rises, fear retreats, and you remember that the one who guards galaxies is the same one guarding you. Ibn Arabi taught that every path of remembrance is not a step upward, but a circle returning you to the center of your being. The dhikr does not take you somewhere new. It brings you back to the place you lost. He said that the same verse can become light for the believer and a veil for the heedless, because the heart itself decides what truth becomes for it. And this is the secret behind these 5 dhikrs. They are not meant to change the world outside you. They are meant to remove the veil inside you. According to Ibn Arabi, the ego is the fog that hides the face of truth. When the fog lifts, when your heart becomes clean, the world does not change. Your sight does. What looked like chaos becomes wisdom. What felt like fear becomes closeness. What felt heavy becomes a hidden mercy. Dhikr is the wind that clears this fog. Each repetition is a hand wiping the mirror of your heart, slowly, gently, tirelessly. For Ibn Arabi, the heart was not a vessel. It was a universe, a world that reflects countless unseen realms. He said the one whose heart is alive will find the unseen world becoming his companion, walking beside him like a soft shadow of truth. And this is why dhikr matters, not because it fixes your problems, but because it awakens the universe inside you. Every dhikr you recited in the previous parts, Ya Hayyu ya Qayyum, Allahumma Rahmataka, Arju, Allahumma la Sahla illa ma ja'altahu sahlan, Allahumma inni bika min al-hammi wal-huzn, Hasbiyallahu wa al-Wakeel, is a key. Not opening 5 different doors, but opening the same door from 5 directions. And behind that door is the truth Ibn Arabi lived and taught. You are not a body searching for God. You are a soul trying to remember Him. Dhikr is not recitation, it is recognition. It is the moment the heart remembers what the soul has always known. When you repeat these names long enough, the layers fall away, the fear, the noise, the fog of the ego, and you begin to shine with a light that does not belong to you, a light that passes through you. Ibn Arabi said that the greatest loss is a soul that leaves this world without even a drop of inner knowing. But if you taste even a single drop, even a moment of real remembrance, then the entire journey of your life becomes fulfilled. So return, not with your feet, but with your heart. Return to the one who hid himself in your longing, who placed his remembrance in your breath, who wrote his name into every beat of your heart. And when you return, truly return, you will realize the destination was never far. It was always inside you. If these words open something inside you, don't let it fade. Subscribe to Heart's Whisper and stay close to the reminders that keep your soul awake. And if you feel moved to support this light, tap the thanks button, not as a payment, as a gesture of presence. Sometimes a small click is all it takes to keep a voice of remembrance alive.